So way to discipulate. You're going to use your yellow sheets that you got in class to write the notes down and do some practice on nominatives and the verbs they agree with. First of all, we're going to do a little review. This you should already know. The nominative endings. For first declension, the nominative ending in the singular is an A. For the plural, it's an AE. For the second declension singular, most words end in a US. However, there are a couple words like we're and puer, man and boy, that end in R. The plural is a long I. Third declension, it varies wide, as the song says. We have lots of different words, and you just have to memorize that nominative singular word when it comes up on your vocab list. And the plural is an ES. So I'm going to show you two songs. The one you should already know. This one's mine. Help you remember it. And I'm going to post these separately from this video on Classroom so that you can listen to them as many times as you need to memorize this information.
A-A-E, it is the first. Us or R-I is second. Third singular varies wide. ES on the plural side. Now that's the nominative rhyme, used for subjects all the time.
And maybe that one doesn't work for you. So Magister Johnson has done a song, and he's going to be adding verses to it. So this one might actually work better for you because it'll eventually help you with all the cases.
These are the Latin cases, the endings tell us what it means. Yeah, these are the Latin cases, endings tell us what the sentence means. First is the nominative, singular go alus varies. Plurals go IEAs. Plurals, they go IEAs. Nominative is the subject, does the action, don't you know? Nominative is the subject, it does the action, don't you know?
Okay, so now let's go on to usage. Nominative endings are used in Latin nouns and adjectives. They're acting as subjects of the verb. Subjects are the words that are doing or being something in the sentence. Exempli gratia, for an example, puella ridet. Puella is your nominative first declension singular, and it's girl, it's your subject. The girl laughs. Servi laborant, the I is the second declension nominative plural, and the slaves work. And then canis is one of those just have to know it third declension nominative singulars. In the house is the dog, or the dog is in the house. Nominative endings are also used on Latin words and sentences complements. Not my you look pretty today, but as in it's completing a sentence that has a linking verb. Okay, linking verbs are verbs sum est, sumus est sunt. Those verbs that don't give you an action, they're just an existing word. A complement is a word in the nominative case that refers back to the subject in the sentence with a linking verb. So let's look at some examples. Puellae sunt ancillae. Now, puellae is a nominative. It's the first nominative. It's the girls. Then you have your linking verb sunt, and ancillae is another nominative that's talking about the girls. So the girls are slave girls. The girls are slave women. Marcus as puer. Marcus is is your first nominative, est is a linking verb, and then puer, that is another nominative, that's your complement. Leones sunt magni. Leones is that third declension plural nominative ending, and lions are big. Well, magni is also nominative. It's describing leones in a sentence with a linking verb. So that second nominative is the complement in a sentence with a linking verb. So complements can also be called predicate nominatives. It's just another way of naming them. You might hear it at some point. So I'm just making you familiar with it. Let's do a little practice. In this practice, you're going to circle all the nominative case words in each sentence. Then you're going to label them as S subject or C complement and translate the sentences. First sentence, puellae rident. What's your nominative word in that sentence? Look at your endings chart if you need help figuring it out. If you see the AE, that is a nominative plural. So the girls are laughing. The girls laugh. That's the subject of the sentence, and that helps us translate the sentence, the girls laugh. Number 2, pater est agricola. How many nominatives do you have in this sentence? You said 2, you're right. Pater is a nominative. Agricola is a nominative. Pater is third declension nominative singular. Agricola is first declension nominative singular. Pater is your subject. Now, est is a linking verb. So when you have a second nominative in a sentence with a linking verb, that second nominative is a complement. And then you just translate this right in the order that's given. It's an easy one. The father is a farmer. Number 3 is a little more challenging. Be careful. Don't just do it in the word order that's presented. Look at the endings. What are the endings telling you? If you were an ancient Roman, you would read left to right, and you would actually comprehend what was being read in that way. So an ancient Roman would have looked at that fabulum, that am on fabulum, and thought, a story or a play, someone is going to be either watching, listening to something, a story and a play. And then you have femini, and that AE ending is your nominative plural. So now your ancient Roman knew that it was probably the women that were watching, listening to, acting in a play. And then you have your verb spectant. So now we know the women watch the story, watch the play. So what's our nominative? Femini. That's our subject. That's the word that you start with when you translate. Let me repeat that. You have to start with your nominative when you translate into English. If you don't start with your nominative, you're going to get the sentence wrong. You're not going to understand what the sentence is saying. So, subject, nominative, start there. The women. Now go to your verb, spectant, watch, fabulum, the play. All right, I want you to pause the video and try number 4 on your own now. There's the answer. So did you write that pueri is your subject, discipuli is your complement, and the boys are students? Sunt is your linking verb. That's why discipuli, that nominative plural second declension, is your complement. Now we're going to do a little bit about subject-verb agreement. This is something we've only touched on a little bit, but subject and verbs and the verbs they go with must agree in person and number. Okay, let's talk about number first, because number confuses people a little bit. Number means singular or plural. I know. Doesn't look like a number, but number as in how many number of people are in the subject. Singular, one, plural, more than one. Person is that first, second, or third person. Like your English teacher talking about a novel. What's a novel written in? It's the same idea. It's the same first, second, or third person. So your verb endings and your subjects have to agree. If a verb has an ending of an M or an O, so like sum or amo, then you have to expect a subject of ego, which means I. If your verb ends in an S, which is that second person singular ending, so spectas, you're expecting a subject of you too. If your verb is ending in a T, then that's when you're going to have a nominative singular subject. And that's all you'll have, or you might just have nothing and you'll have to look at the T and that's your subject, he, she, or it, figuring it out from context. Mus is your first person plural, and mus is our we ending, so it goes with nos, which also means we. So spectamus, we watch. Tis is the second person plural ending. It goes with vos, which means you all. And then nt is our third person plural ending, and that's going to go with a nominative plural. Okay? So a word like puelli is going to go with redent because the nt tells us they, and puelli, girls, are they. As opposed to puella redet, the girl, singular, one girl, she, redet, t, laughs, that's going to have the nominative singular with the t. All right, so let's do a little practice for this. For the following sentences, all you're doing is choosing the correct subject. So you have to look at this sentence and determine what's your verb ending telling you about the subject. What's the best subject of these choices? So our verb ending is an NT. NT tells us they. Nos means we. Puer means boy. Pueri means boys. The only one of these that can be replaced with they is pueri. So, pueri in via current, the boys run in the road, that makes a correct sentence. In trot, the T ending is a he, she, or it ending. Looking at your choices, UNS, young man, UNACE, young men, or UNM, oh, well, that's still young man, but that has an accusative case ending. Well, we need a nominative singular ending, which would be that IS, UNS, because that's the third declension nominative. When we learned our word, we learned UNS. That's our subject. The young man enters the garden. Okay. Fabulam specto. The O is for I, and the word that means I is ego. Mus is we, and the word that means we is nos. Okay, so we hurry to the house, and I forgot to translate this one. I watch the play. Okay. Patrem salutat. See the T on the ending of salutat? What is that for? He, she, or it. So choose the one that means he, she, or it if you had to replace it with a pronoun. Filii are sons, plural, nominative plural. Filios an ablative. We don't need an ablative. And filius is our nominative singular, which is son, which could be replaced with he as a pronoun. Clamorum facis, the S is our ending. S stands for you, but it's a you singular. So which one of these is you singular? 2. And then NT tells us they. A coquus is a nominative singular cook. Coqui is nominative plural, cooks. Nos means we, but the only one that we could change with they is cooks, coqui. Nominative plural goes with nt. Portatis, tis is second person plural, and it stands for you all. So which of these is you all? Vos is you all. Okay? It helps you think of that. The only thing you had to do to make it into a you, the Y of the word you, is to add a little tail to the V. I don't know. That sometimes helps people. All right, last one. NT tells us they. If you look, spectator is he, the spectator, or she. Spectatora is an ablative. It doesn't work here. Spectatores, that's your nominative plural. They are the spectators applaud. The spectators applaud. That is what you want to choose.